Hi there, how you going? My name's Nathan. We're going to try that again. We just tried a session and it's all died on us. So welcome to the Rapid Startup Meetup. And this is the online workshop. We're going to go through some ideation, some validation on business ideas. Probably be here for about 25 minutes. It's about all the time I've got left now, unfortunately. We were meant to start at 8 o'clock, so I apologize. But for you replay viewers, I'll leave this up. You'll be able to grab it on the site. rapidexecutive.com/workshop. I'm pointing to something you can't see, so apologize for that. I'm going to flick over in a moment to a presentation, just to take you through some visual slides that I put together for this to help get the message across for you. My name's Nathan. I run the Perth Rapid Startup Meetup group. I've got about 1,000 people together where I guess going through the 7-day startup, Dan Norris's 7-day startup framework to rapidly validate an idea and get it launched and out the door. So we've been going for about a year now. We've launched 6 or 7 businesses to date. I've been through it myself a couple of times to show everyone how to do it. I've launched a book, an online course, and we've launched a couple of physical product businesses throughout the course as well. So it's great to see a bunch of people getting together, helping each other out. People are sharing services, sharing ideas, sharing expertise, helping each other out. It's great fun. Keeping people accountable, introducing to tools and things like that as well to help them get their business ideas up and running. So without ado, apologies for any lag or delay or quality. I have a really fantastic and it's not working right, so I'm on the little laptop one. I apologize for the quality, but the presentation will be a lot better. So I can get that flipped over to you. Apologies. So we'll get through some validation ideas this evening. I'm going to help you, I guess, really hone in on your idea. So if you've got 1 or 50 ideas, like I had a lot of the time, this might help you work out where the outcomes might be from this. So what sort of business models this would suit. We'll go through a bunch of different archetypes, business archetypes. You might be able to basically build a business model out of that. We'll go through a few of the business models, pros and cons of those, so you can see where your idea fits with what you wanted to do. If you come out of this with your idea being sort of bunk, think of that as a huge success, so you won't go and waste time and money in the future on something that's not going to work for you. Let me just pull this up and we'll get straight into it. I'm hoping the guys that are working on my cable out the front are finished, which is the problem we were having with our last one. Okay, I'm hoping you guys can see that now. There we go. All right. So we'll start with your why. It's extremely important. We'll get into the business archetypes, as I said. We'll go through the model matrix that I put together for you, so it'll help you pick which one of the archetypes and which model would suit you. Some validation on a couple of these. I've got a few ninja tips to go through for those, and we'll get into Q&A if everything works as I hope. So why start with your why? So no matter which sort of business venture you go down, it could be the coolest job in the world, it could be the simplest job in the world, it'll all end up being a job at the end of the day. So each business has menial tasks, so make sure the idea that you have suits your why. That will really help. What the book I'm reading at the moment, it's a brand new book by Pat Flynn. If you guys haven't heard of Pat Flynn, he's an online marketing guru, for want of a better term. He's just written a book called Will It Fly? And how to test your next business ideas so you don't waste your time and money. Now, this guy's done heaps of online businesses and he's really fantastic. Really love this stuff. And the book is just awesome. And the first thing he talks about in the book is determining your why. And he talks about think about what your reality would be like 5 years from now. So total blue sky, and sort of giving yourself a why, and then you start talking about your business. So if you can always go back to your why, the why will help you get through your tough times. If you wanted to spend more time with your kids and you're going to be working on something that's really tough, you can use that why, come back to that why. This is why I'm doing this. This is why it's tough now, and things like that. So starting with your why is very important. Next, we'll get into some business archetypes. So we're generally talking about online stuff, but we will cover some offline as well. So this model sort of suits both. You could have something that covers both of these. So you could have a physical products business that's online and things like that. So it would suit most of those, but it is targeted, sort of angled towards online stuff. Again, which one? Think about your why while you're thinking about these business types, archetypes, and then we'll get into the four popular archetypes. So the first one is teacher. Very popular in the online space at the moment. Things like coaches, everyone's sort of hanging their shingle out and calling themselves a life coach. So when I say coach, I'm talking about things like online courses. But the teacher also covers things like thought leaders, which are things like speakers and writers. And then this strange term that I hear a lot, mediapreneur. So that's people that use grow huge audiences and then use things like affiliate marketing, advertising, and things like that to monetize. So some of the examples of these, Tim Ferriss, Gary Vaynerchuk, Pat Flynn, I mentioned before. That's his book, Will It Fly? It's fantastic. I urge you to grab a copy of that. I'll throw a link out for this as well. It's really, really good. So you could start any of these relatively easily, and we'll get into the business models and how easy these are to get into, how hard they are to grow, how easy they are to automate and systematize, and things like that as well. This is a pretty simple one to get into. To be successful, they get, I guess, harder as you go along. So it's reasonably easy to be successful as a coach and create some sort of course around a small niche and help a few people out and make some money out of that. But it may not be able to be scalable very easily, and finding those people, and it's a lot of work to continually find those people. Thought leaders, you're kind of relying on some kind of skill set that you have. Again, a lot of work, and it's all based on yourself. Mediapreneur, growing the brand of you and growing the brand of your business. It's very difficult to over time to scale that up. So unless you're someone like a Tim Ferriss or a Gary Vaynerchuk, of course. So the next one is a freelancer. So this is a pretty simple one to get into, especially the first one. If you've got a full-time job already, the simplest model is just a freelance moonlighting. So you're still trading your time for money, but using some of your, I guess, your spare time to do something like consulting on your existing skill set. So as I'll use myself as an example, I still am actually, one of my consulting businesses. I am in quality assurance for IT. Sounds very boring. I'm a bit of a nerd. But I can use that skill set for other businesses and consult outside of hours. Obviously keeping things ethical, I do mention that there, but lunch is my time. So if I am working on a client in a 9-to-5 sort of scenario, lunch is my time, so I would use that. But I will keep the client work for external clients to outside of hours, obviously. Another simple one is things like Uber and these other time swap, resource swap sort of services, like these kind of things are like a sort of side gigging kind of thing. But I guess people are making a full-time living from things like Uber and Airbnb and things like that as well. And then going up the scale a little bit, places like Fiverr, Freelancer, Upwork, these are online platforms where buyers are looking for services. So we'll get into a couple of other models where you're going where the fish are, to coin a phrase on that one. But things like Fiverr, Elance, freelancer, things like that. There are buyers. There's a mass market there already, so that you're capitalizing or leveraging the platform with a whole bunch of buyers. They're looking for services. If you go in and provide one of those services, you can make some money out of that. The next one is the third one, the maker. What is the maker? Inverted commas there. So this covers things like designers. That could be web designers or graphic designers and things like that. Then builders, so software engineers, people that code and that sort of stuff. So an example I've got up here is Nathan Barry. He's building software. He builds an email marketing software called ConvertKit, which is fantastic. He's got a bunch of books that he started with, worked out what people wanted from those books. So his audience, building an online authority. If you go from the green book through the blue book, red book, green book was first, the how to build an online authority, I guess. Then he got into web design and nerded out with a bit and got a bit of a nerd following. Decided to tackle some software, and he has built a $150,000 a month recurring revenue business out of just that one piece. So really killing it. So you can make a pretty awesome living from the builder software engineer. You don't necessarily need to be a coder to do it these days. You can outsource that to the previous model, which is a freelancer, but you'd need to, I guess, understand the market very well to be able to execute on something like that. And the last one in the maker is the artist. So I'm kind of differentiating all of these out, different types of makers. I guess an artist like painter or musician that's sort of focused on their own work, whereas a designer can go and design something for somebody else. So it's a differentiator on those. And the last one is the retailer. So this is a tricky one, and I'll kind of get into a bit of detail on this one. So obviously a retailer, we're talking online in most parts, but a lot of retailers can be a physical presence. So let's see, yeah, there. But if we go back to e-commerce, so you can have physical products and still have an e-commerce store. An example is buttercoffee.com.au, which was my first 7-day start launch back in September of 2014. I read the book, 7-Day Startup, talked to my wife about an idea, and a week later we were on the radio with our first sale. So e-commerce is definitely not dead, and it's very simple to get into. It is difficult to run. So you are talking about physical products, you are talking about ordering stock, you are talking about looking after your site and doing coupons and customer service, packing orders. I'm just looking around my stock room at the moment thinking, man, I've got a lot to do tonight. So physical products businesses are something that if I had have looked at when I did my why a long time ago, I probably wouldn't have gone down this route, but I'm very happy. It's very successful, but we will be looking at other business models moving forward. The other retailer is something like an Amazon. So we were talking before about going to where the fish are. So anywhere where there's an online marketplace of buyers, if you can get in front of those buyers with your product, you're pretty much going to be successful as long as the product is good enough. Amazon is the world's largest store. They have millions of products. They have tens of millions of users with their credit cards on sale. These Prime users in the US basically get free shipping, free 2-day shipping. They can sort of buy things with one click on any device they're on. People are going there to buy. So this model is certainly pretty lucrative. The specific model we're talking about, in brackets there, FBA, is fulfillment by Amazon. So it's kind of like drop shipping. So you pretty much ship your stuff to Amazon and they sort pretty much everything out for you. So pretty amazing stuff. Speaking of amazing, I've got another link there, the amazingseller.com/start. That's Scott Boker. He's over there doing, I guess, online workshops. He's got some training courses and stuff like that. He's got a podcast. Go and listen to his podcast. It's fantastic. If you haven't heard of Amazon FBA, he will knock your socks off. It will probably put a lot of your current business ideas on hold while you do this, which is exactly what I'm doing at the moment. So which one do we choose? So I put together a bit of a matrix to help you, and this actual sheet along with the links will be available at rapidexecutive.com/workshop. Afterwards, you just click the link, and they don't need to give me an email address or anything. It's just a free download. It's a PDF with clickable links there, and I put this together. So we went through those business archetypes: the teacher, the freelancer, the maker, the retailer. I've broken them out by their subtypes there, and I've given you a real world example. So there's a bit of a story around each of the links. If you go to the link, you can have a look. A bit of a story around the person, kind of their products and what they're doing. So I think Gary Vaynerchuk's the only one I couldn't actually give you a story on, but once you get there, you'll see exactly what it is anyway. So the rest of them, Kim Luna does online coaching, Be True, Be You. I think it's a sort of a personal branding kind of thing. She's very far out, blue hair, cool chick. Thought leader Sam Harris, pretty much talks about anything. He's one of the smartest men alive. Existing skill set, we're talking about the freelancer. Joey Kissimmee is an absolute whiz kid with Facebook and targeted ads, and he has a WordPress themes or website themes web development kind of company, and he's absolutely knocking it out of the park. So that's a bit of a story around him and how much money he's making a month and how he does it all. Elance freelance gigging, anarcho fighter that's a tremendous story. This is a guy on Fiverr who he did 1 year on Fiverr as a side gig and was able to buy a house. So don't let the $5 a gig thing scare you off from that one. So that can certainly be fruitful. Next one, Justin Jackson, one of my favorite designers to watch. He is an excellent creator, creating all sorts of things. He does a bunch of podcasts. I think that link is to his podcast, which is called Build and Launch, very similar to the 7-Day Startup. He kind of talks about kind of an online diary of his adventures in starting a podcast and sort of backdoor stuff. You get him talking to his phone at 3 a.m. His kids are asleep. He's trying to be quiet and things like that. So it's really cool. Very behind the scenes, but just looking at the kinds of things he makes, he's certainly an excellent designer to model if you are in that space. The next one, Nathan Barry, mentioned before. I think that's a link to ConvertKit. None of these are affiliates, by the way, guys. These are just, I'm trying to get you stories so you can actually go behind the scenes and see what these guys are up to, and see if it actually fits in with what you were planning to do or hoping to do, and kind of giving you a success story to go and have a look at. They're a bit warts and all as well, so they might show you what not to do, and they might also show you what sort of the dark and stormy side that you might not want to go down. The next one, artist. This is a pretty recent thing that came across my desk, Pixel Pusher. A bit of a story behind it, but it's just a graphic designer. This guy is I think that's a link to his Patreon. Really fantastic graphic designer. And I think it was just last week, he's gone pretty viral, where he went and took, I don't condone taking drugs, but he went and took 20 different types of drugs and then did 20 artworks on what those drugs did to him. It's fantastic. If you go and have a look at the artwork there, it's absolutely amazing. So a bit of a story around him as well. Physical products, you can go and have a look at my setup on Butter Coffee. It's an Australian website, Australian store. We ship worldwide, but you can go and have a look at how it's all set up. We've got some content marketing and things like that on there. It is a lot of work, hence all the reds there. Dropshipping, Hello Match is a fantastic story. I think that story was by one of the dropshipping companies, so they're really trying to ham up the whole dropshipping thing, how easy it is. But it's a really fantastic story, some awesome imagery and very backdoor. And the guys kind of didn't really know what they were doing, so it's one of those sort of listen and learn and watch and learn along the way kind of stories, which is really good. And Amazon FBA is Pro Chef Tools in the walkthrough in just a moment. So I put this model together to show you the kind of the market size. This is a red, green, amber traffic light kind of system. So green is good, red is bad, orange is sort of in the middle. So as far as market size goes, you can't really beat Amazon for the size. Things like artistry, you kind of need, it's really hard to find your market. And if you're creating your work, how do you get your work out there? That kind of thing. That's the kind of rating system I put on that. But you know, finding markets for your existing skill sets is pretty simple. The market size is really there for things like mediapreneurs and gigging and freelancing and things like that. And the next column is the simplicity and ease of entry. So anyone can, as I said before, hang a shingle out and call themselves a coach or a life coach. Please don't call yourself a life coach these days. And sort of gets harder down the line there. So if you're using an existing skill set, it's really easy to get into. Getting onto Fiverr or something like that and chucking up a gig could be pretty simple. The simplest way to start, I think Anarcho Fighter actually put it up there within his story. It might have been a separate story I was looking at, but you can get that most of those stories from that same link. You could start with if you've got a simple guide. I will give you this guide. You can actually automate that on Fiverr. So you put the gig up, tell people you'll send them a guide, and when they click pay, it sends them a guide. It can be really that simple. So it's very, very passive. Coming down to the maker, again, simplicity. I guess if you've got a whole bunch of art, that's fine. But if your art's easy to create, maybe it's not that great, things like that. So that's the reasoning behind that one. And the final column is automated and recurring revenue. So that's, I guess, the monetization potential on those. So it's pretty simple, relatively simple to create a recurring revenue model if you've got some kind of recorded online course. The issue with that one being the market size. So getting in front of your customers is actually quite hard. But if you can start to build a small audience, you can quickly put together some videos and training, get the ideas out of your head and get it up there. So the thought leader is a tricky one. I guess if you're talking about like speakers and stuff like that, automated recurring revenue, it's, you know, you constantly sort of out there trying to find speaking gigs, to be uncertain on the monetary side of things. We get down to some of the software. So software as a service is pretty much recurring revenue. That's kind of how it sits. So it's up there in the green ones. And I guess I rated Amazon FBA as green for more for the automated stuff. You can build I guess you can work through the current sales on Amazon and sort of work with that, so you can kind of get some idea of reasonable recurring revenue on that. But I will go through that in a little bit more detail. So again, guys, you can grab all of these. I was going to say on the show notes. This is not a podcast. on the website for this, so rapidexecutive.com/workshop, and you can just click the link there and download this PDF. So rapid validation. So some validation of these. I have a validation case study for the teacher from Brian Harris of Video Fruit. Go grab the vacuum formula. So starting to grow your audience. So each of the teachers requires an audience. That is the simplest formula called the vacuum formula. It's how to get your first 120 readers of whatever you've got. So it might be your first blog post or something like that. It's really fantastic. It's really simple, really actionable. That guy is a legend. The next one's a freelancer. So it's the same link I've linked up before, actually, guys. This is really, really a fantastic story. Even if you have no idea, you will have some sort of skill set that you can put up on one of these services sites, even the simplest model of giving someone an ebook or something like that. So go read that story. It's really fantastic. How a guy bought a house after 1 year on Fiverr. And the last one, I will actually give you a walkthrough. This one I'm really super excited about at the moment. It's Amazon FBA. I have my first product up and running, and I hope on our next session to be sharing my success or learnings. But I can't wait to get into this one. So I might just flick back and see if we've got any more questions. Not at this stage, very much for a sec. Cool. All right, so we'll keep going. So we'll get into a bit of a case study here. So the FBA retailer, I think this is the future. This is as close to the simplest passive income model that has the greatest upside I can imagine. So you're talking millions and millions of buyers, millions and millions of products every day, extremely low barriers of entry, which is a positive and negative. But if you build yourself a brand on the platform, you will stand out, you will keep your sales, you will look after your customers, Amazon will look after you. So what is FBA? So we mentioned dropshipping before. Dropshipping effectively is a customer comes to you and buys a product off you, and your software or your system, you could even do it via email these days, would send that off to a supplier and they would fulfill that for you. So they would pack it up, ship it off and send it to the customer. So it's a pretty passive model. When it comes to actual physical work, you set up a system that takes the sale and you inform the supplier to send the stuff off to your customer, and you kind of just deal with customer service. So it's a pretty good model. Amazon FBA is very similar in that you send product. It's very similar to that, except you send the product. So you're sending the product over to Amazon, and Amazon does all the drop shipping for you. So effectively, you are the source, you are the supplier. So we're going to go through quickly how to find a product to put up on Amazon. What you would do with that. I've got a couple of tools here that I'm going to quickly show you through. They're just screenshots. So if you guys like this, let me know. I will do actual run through of this, but hopefully this actually covers everything. So obviously when I go to Amazon.com, I've got a pay tool, which I really love. It just makes it super simple. I will show you how it works. If you need a hand with this, just let me know. I can send you some of the data that this Chemical Scout, fantastic tool for finding out information about, actually tell from looking at them. A site called Camel, it's a fantastic name. Does a lot of historical data from Amazon, which is fantastic. Look at the sourcing website called Bali. You probably go to that. It's one of the largest supplier platforms in the world. Just had an IPO. And then two tools we use to help you understand one of these businesses and the technology behind them. So we'll nerd out on that. If that doesn't interest you, you can skip over that bit a little bit later on. So we've got bitwiz.com and whattheme.com. So let's get into it. So when you're searching on Amazon, it's very similar to Google, but you're talking about products, and the people that are searching aren't looking for how-tos, they're looking for I wants. So they're looking for products and they're looking to buy. They've got their credit card on file, they click a few buttons and they've bought something. So I was searching around the other day and stumbled upon this search term, which was stainless steel bag clip. Was actually, I think it was at the top of, I think I'll show you this one. There you go. All right. At the top of the search results, you'll see some paid advertising sometimes in here. And this is one of the items that came up. So I started looking into it and was absolutely blown away, which I can't wait to show you all this. So if you go to Amazon and type in stainless steel bag clip, it will bring up a bunch of results. Now, I didn't even know what these things were. They make sense now. It's just a bulldog clip, really. And you put them on your, according to this, coffee bags. Seems legit, fair enough. It's just having a quick look down on the actual listings here. I'm talking about the third one. Looks pretty straightforward. Doesn't really even look like they're in a packaging. People seem to be buying them. It's a 5-star rated. It's got 140. You get free shipping eligible and things like that. So it's in the home and kitchen category, and it's stocked by this company called Pro Chef Kitchen Tools. That's about what I can tell you on there. Now, there's 12,513 results for stainless steel bag clip. Anyway, we'll move into it. Trust me, this is going somewhere really, really cool. So this is a tool called Jungle Scout. The first time I saw this, I didn't believe it, and I contacted the guy that made it and said, "Can this be real? Because this just is frightening." So what does this do? This tells you, I've highlighted in red there, the item we're talking about is the third one with the big times 6 in the middle, 1995, 6 bulldog clips. So stainless steel bag clips, I've highlighted there. The brand is Pro Chef Kitchen Tools, which I talked about before. The price, $19.95. The category, home and kitchen. The rank, 3,956. Now, rank is the Amazon bestseller rank. So within each of the categories, kitchen and dining, this is ranked 3,956. So obviously ranked #1 in kitchen and dining would mean you're on the top of the list. You're the highest ranking seller, best everything ever. So for example, in headphones, you would see Bose or Beats by Dr. Dre or something like that would be up there in the top rankings. So this gives me an estimated sales, estimated revenues, number of views, and rating. So estimated sales, this is for a month. For these clips is 531 with an estimated revenue, and that just times out the sales price there. So $10,500, and that's revenue. So this is a model where Amazon's making enough money out of this to cope with this as well. So if we take about 30% margin, absolute worst case scenario, most of them are more than that. They're still making $3 grand a month from that one product. Now that's one listing as well. This could have multiple SKUs. They could have packs of 10, packs of 20, could have different colors, things like that. But this is just that one listing. So that one link there that you click on and go and buy, people are clicking on that 531 times and putting their credit card details in. So amazing, absolutely amazing. So let's go a little bit deeper. Let's have a quick look at the pricing. So Jungle Scout will take the estimated sales based on the sales rank, which is it's algorithmically done. It could be close. It could be a little bit further away than perfect, but it's close enough. So you go to camelcamelcamel.com, you copy that link for that listing into there. It'll give you the sales history. Now, this is actually real data that Amazon has, but it just doesn't show to you. So Camel keeps track of this. So you can see the price history from way back in November 2014. They started at $25, went right down to $10, pretty much sat around the $12 mark throughout the year in 2015 and into 2016, and then they've shot up to $19.95. So if we halve what they have, that's still $5,000 they're making a month, estimated, which is pretty good for that one product. All right, we'll keep going. Now, how much money are they actually making from that, say $5,000? So we go to Alibaba and have a quick look. So we'll type in stainless steel bag clip, and I think this was the second result that came up. If we have a look at these clips, there's a guy holding the clip open. And if we just skip back, there's a guy holding the clip open. It looks like the same image. This is a bag of 6 stainless steel clips, $1.30. You can buy these from Alibaba. They're very small, so the shipping would be bugger all. Minimum order quantity of 3,000. You can buy a lot more and get it even cheaper. But for $1.30, and you can sell them for $19.95. I don't even need to tell you that my 30% low-level margin just been shot out the water. We'll do this all day. If you can buy something for $1.30, and you could spend $5 on advertising and still make an absolute fortune out of that. So the numbers stack up pretty well on that one. So let's go and have a look at this at Pro Chef Kitchen Tools. This is a snapshot of their website. You can see them at prochefkitchentools.com. So if you find a product, you find a source for it, you see it's pretty reasonable, you're going up against someone who's doing the selling already. People are looking for this stuff. They're not looking for Pro Chef Kitchen Tools. They're looking for bag clips. So that's what they'll go and search for. So you can get yourself up there by, the old-fashioned way of paying for traffic up there or just having a superior product. So I went and Googled these guys, Pro Chef Kitchen Tools. You can check out their social links. Go and have a look at their page. So I also broke down their website a little. You can geek out on this with me if you like, but their website is really simple. If you go to builtwith.com, it will tell you that it's a Shopify store. You go to whattheme.com, it'll tell you what theme they're using on Shopify, which is the Retina display, which is the one that comes free with Shopify. They've pretty much gone to Shopify, paid the $9 a month, and chucked up their theme, a few images, and on their page, sorry, skip back to that one, kind of give away the punchline there. On their page, they've got it selling for $29.95 and a little link on their page that goes by from Amazon. So they're not even selling anything from their site. They're just sending people from their website back to their Amazon listing. So talk about drop shipping. So put that all together, which I gave away. I went and grabbed Pro Chef Kitchen Tools listings. So they've got a colander, an over the sink strainer, and some more of these weird clips. So out of their top 11 products, which is all I could fit on one page, so Jungle Scout will give you everything on one page. So this is just to show you a snapshot. They do have more products than this, but let's just look at this, for example. Add up all their estimated revenue. They're making $154,000 a month from selling some stainless steel products with a 5-minute website and some stainless steel products from China. I think that is that's phenomenal. The 10 or so of us could jump on right now and create this business, and we would have to buy some stock and send it to Amazon, and then we would spend our time working with pay-per-click and keyword research. I think that's an amazing business model. So that's just a quick run through of the business archetypes, the business models, and then a bit of a deep dive into one of those, which is the one that's exciting me the most at the moment. Can't wait to get my product listing complete and up there, switched on by Amazon, and I will be able to share some results with you. All right, so we'll jump over and Q&A. Hopefully I can get this Q&A working. A bit of trouble the first time around, but you can grab all these details from rapidexecutive.com/workshop. I'm not going to ask you to give an email address or anything like that. You just click on the link and download the images. Just flick back to myself. Apologies for the techno babble on tonight's stuff, guys. We will sort this out for the next time. I blame the technicians working in the street. So how was that? Pretty cool, huh? Where are you with your business ideas? Have you got more? Have you canned a few? Are you wanting to join me on this Amazon thing? I think this is going to be my 2016 goal, is to get this up and cranking. All right, so. Okay, guys, we're gonna do these once a fortnight. We do the in-person once a fortnight as well. So alternative weeks, online, offline, online, offline. Obviously, if you're in Perth, come on down to the Perth Rapid Startup Meetup. We do that at the Beecham Group in the city. It's after hours, so 5 till 6:30-ish, and then we head off to a local venue and usually talk about business till almost midnight. If you can't make the in-person or you're not around in Perth, come along to these live events. I will pull some people in the next couple of sessions. I've run out of time this evening, apologies, but come along to the next sessions and you can jump in the hot seat and we'll bang out a few answers on your idea. We can help you with validation, we can help you with some tools. We might even make some connections with you if you need some help with your idea. But yeah, we're here for you. There's a whole community here, and we'll get you launched this year. All right, so thanks guys, thanks for coming along. I hope that was fun for you. Don't forget to check out the link at rapidexecutive.com/workshop, and I will see you in 2 weeks or a week if you're in Perth.